Thanks, Poncho. Folks, that man right there is a quintessential example of real, tangible American patriotism. Just think, how would you feel if we were just a bunch of continental Latin American natives and a bunch of crazy, savage alien natives came along in giant floating boxes with paper attached to them, wielding on TNN 10, immigration, immigration, and more immigration. What it is, what's wrong with it, and more importantly, how it's affecting our country day after day. I'm Alex Licata, and here are your morning news.
Yeah, immigration, don't do it, really bad. As I'm sure you're all well aware, immigrants flooding into our country has been a thing since just about the dawn of mankind, ever since America became the greatest country in the world, of course. These foreigners don't understand that we fought hard for the right to be American, as did our forefathers. We can't take anybody that isn't American. They might bring other cultures in there and influence our trench forces against our will at gunpoint, like doing drugs, like, I don't know, down a trail somewhere in the middle of the desert, and we can't be having that. That would spell the end of democracy as we know it.
But more importantly, there's been a strange phenomenon occurring recently, which is an exponential rise in dental cavities in children. The odd thing about this phenomenon is that the cases only increase during the winter. While most parents are none the wiser, our experts have been studying this case from every single angle imaginable. What they found will freeze you to your core. Our analysts have concluded that there's only one thing we can attribute to this phenomenon.
The real problem? Canadians. You see, Canadians have been illegally immigrating into our country for decades, smuggling maple syrup into the country to make a quick buck. But the real ploy behind this, they want to rot our children's teeth. Yes, you heard me correctly. Canadians are sneaking into our country to rot our children's teeth and brainwash them into becoming Canadian. Now you may ask, why is it only during the winter that this is happening? The reason is that every year Canadians are growing more and more susceptible to freezing cold temperatures, and they're slowly losing their ability to tolerate the brutal winter cold. But it gets worse. Our analysts, who have been undercover in Canada since November of 2012, have uncovered the most shocking thing about this case. Canada wants to migrate southwards and turn the United States into North Canada. South Canada.
But soon, their efforts may all be for naught. Our president has a plan, and he is rapidly gaining support from our fellow Americans all around the country. He sent out a representative to discuss the president's plan with us right here in Cramerton, North Carolina.
We're here speaking with Senator Diego Esteban do Juan Santiago de Sebastián de la Rosa Ramirez el Juanísimo Guadalupe from Seattle, Washington. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, so we'll just get going straight to the point. How do you feel about immigrants flooding into our country?
Well, let me tell you what, it's not good. I don't know about you guys, but I work hard for the life I live, very hard. And to have these gosh darn Canadians just busting in here and just trying to force feed us that gosh darn maple syrup while their children slowly conform more and more to their ways. It's not right. We have to stop them.
Right. I couldn't have said it better myself. And how exactly do you propose that we stop these darn Canadians?
Well, first of all, there's been talks from our president about building a wall.
A wall?
Yeah, a wall. And Mexico, yeah, they're going to pay for it.
How intriguing. And how exactly is this going to prevent Canadians?
Well, I'm glad you asked. You see, Mexico is going to pay for that big old wall, and we're going to build it. And it's going to be huge. I mean, like, and plenty of the jobs are coming in, and good jobs. And, you know, the best thing is that we're going to put it right smack dab in between the United States and Canada. It's going to be great.
But what if they just build a bunch of ramps and like ladders and they just get out of the snow and ice and just go skiing right over the wall?
Boy, you do raise a compiling argument. Fortunately, there isn't a single thing that our representatives haven't thought about. You see, not only are we going to build a wall, but we're also going to have a gigantic fly swatter that is the size of a man.
That's huge.
Yeah. You know, to keep those racial border skiing Canadian immigrants out of our country, and no longer will they smuggle in their maple syrup into our borders, we will prevail.
You're a true American hero, just like my hero, Donald J. Trump.
Thanks, Poncho. Folks, that man right there is a quintessential example of real, tangible American patriotism. Just think, how would you feel if we were just a bunch of continental Latin American natives A bunch of crazy, savage alien natives came along in giant floating boxes with paper attached to them, wielding sticks that release claps of thunder that can stop your heart in the blink of an eye. They bring disease, suffering, and darkness to the continent. They killed your friends, your family, taking over the land, enslaving you, and the others whose lives they haven't taken. How would you feel? And with that, good night, America. We'll see you next time on TNN 10.